great dynasties and cultural achievements in Chinese history, the Tang dynasty is undoubtedly a highly revered period. The Tang dynasty, from 618 to 907 AD, was an era of prosperity and grandeur in Chinese history, and an important stage in the history of Chinese architecture. During the Tang dynasty, architecture not only grew significantly in number, but also developed enormously in terms of technique, style, and scale, leaving behind many amazing architectural legacies. In the early Tang dynasty, architecture was mainly influenced by the Sui dynasty, with a certain palace style typified by the Daming Palace, one of the largest palaces in China's history, not only showing the grandeur and magnificence of Tang dynasty architecture, but also reflecting the wisdom of the ancient Chinese laboring people. During the glory days of the Tang dynasty, China's architectural level reached its peak. Many famous buildings appeared, such as the White Horse Temple and the giant Bao'en Temple in Luoyang, and the big Wild Goose Pagoda and the Huaxing Palace in Xi'an. These buildings represent a high level of achievement in Tang dynasty architecture, showing superb treatment of structure and decoration. Tang dynasty architecture was dominated by wooden structures in the traditional mortise and tenon engineering technique. This engineering technique used mortise and tenon to join wood together to form a solid structure, permitting the building to remain stable during natural disasters such as earthquakes. This feature is very prominent in Tang dynasty buildings and demonstrates the high level of scale of Tang craftsmen. Tang dynasty buildings often had multi-story structures, such as the bell tower and the drum tower in Xi'an, which is an 8-story building perched on top of a square pedestal, and the drum tower, which is also a multi-story structure with a much larger scale. These buildings are not only functional, but also add spectacular views to the city. They're not just buildings, they're also symbols of Chinese history and culture. These buildings used to play a role in time, music, and social events during the Tang dynasty, such as the drum tower, which chimes the time every day with the sound of drums. So they also reflect the social life and cultural traditions of the time. The roofs of the bell tower and drum tower in Xi'an are covered with glazed tiles, which are not only waterproof, but also sparkle in the sunlight, adding to the splendor of the buildings. In addition, the exterior walls and interior structures of the buildings were often adorned with exquisite colored paintings, which demonstrated the high level of painting and handicrafts of the Tang dynasty. Overall, Tang dynasty architecture represents the pinnacle of ancient Chinese architecture, and its unique style and technical achievements have had a profound impact on the architecture of future generations. The architectural heritage of the Tang dynasty not only demonstrates the social prosperity and cultural development of the time, but is also an important page in the history of Chinese architecture. These buildings can still be found today in China and elsewhere, providing us with a precious window into the glorious culture of the Tang dynasty.